Welcome to LWP Labs. Learn with projects. Today's topic: Amazon VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. Please like, share, and subscribe.
So what is Amazon? Amazon is cloud provider. Means the cloud means what they are providing you. They are asking you all to rent from their servers. So you have to create. Amazon is buying a land, and once they lease the land, they are trying to deploy a lot of servers there like this. And in this servers, you are actually running your business. So they are charging you rent for it. The business model for them is to provide you software services, this hardware services, this data centers on rent. So these are public data centers where anybody can come and create your account. The public data centers, not only you will be there. Here a lot of people will have AWS account. If everybody is having in Mumbai, so everybody will have their account here somewhere. So now that is the reason this is called public. Now here you have to create your own, which is called private. So if you are not able to see these things, here you will be able to see, which is something called VPC. Okay, VPC, network and content delivery, which is this VPC. So you have to click on VPC to create the VPC. So here what I will do, on interest of time, okay, this VPC thing I will be explaining maybe tomorrow because we have just 15 minutes. Think that we have a default VPC, which is this. This is my default VPC. This I have created. Okay, I can delete also. Delete. Deleting a VPC in office environment is like blunder you will be doing. First of all, we will never delete and create VPC as a DevOps engineers. But then why we will be studying here? We'll be studying here how to create VPC, how to delete VPC, how to create subnet, route table, internet gateway, all these things inside VPC just to understand and grow our network concept. Okay, so that we can troubleshoot issues well. Okay, that is the reason we will be doing all these things. So this is our VPC, which is being given once you log into your Amazon account and you type here VPC, you will get that there is one default VPC being given to you by Amazon, and we will be using this default VPC. But then can we create a new VPC? Yes, we will be seeing that. But we have a default VPC. This default VPC is having some range. Here you see, this is called CIDR range 172.31.00/16. There is some range. This range is called CIDR range. This range will tell that how many servers you can have in this VPC, in this virtual private cloud. Means in this physical cloud, in this physical servers, which you can see here, you will create a virtual private cloud. Maybe this particular rack, which you can see, and there is two racks here, right? This particular rack is getting power supply from some other power suppliers, and this rack is getting power from some other power supply. There are two racks here, okay? Both are getting power from some different power supplies. So definitely what we will try to do, we'll try to keep one server here, one server here, so that if one power supply goes off, another power supply will be there. Something like this. So here, how can we do all these things when we have a virtual private network? When we have a network which is virtual, a virtual isolation, a network isolation from other networks. Okay, security will be also there. Nobody else can come into my network. So a private network will be there. So this is our private network IP range. What is public IP range, private IP range, we may see tomorrow. Most of you have attended the free workshop, so you might be knowing it. Okay, what is our private IP range or public IP range? Fine. So this is our VPC. If you go here, default VPC, you should see this, yes. If this is coming, yes, very good. This is your default VPC. Something like this we have to also create with a proper diagram and all. This is our VPC. So inside this VPC, so first thing is we need to create VPC. First thing is VPC, or let's make it a cloud only. First thing is VPC. So in this public cloud, we are creating maybe private cloud. Okay, this is my private cloud. This is suppose Amir's private cloud. Now here we will have one server and here we will have one server. So these two servers cannot communicate with each other. Okay, because see, these are two different private cloud. Okay, there will be a network isolation, so which is good. So no security reason, no security loopholes are there. Now once you created this particular server, you need to have this for an IP of for this server. Maybe suppose we have this IP, so this server is there, another server we will create, another server we will create as your business is growing. So all these servers internally will talk to each other with the help of private IP. Now, if this server runs an application which needs to be accessed from outside, what is this require? What is this server requiring? If these servers are talking to internally, we require private IP. And there is a customer outside, he also wants to access this server. What is this server requires so that anybody else from outside can connect to it? The server will require in this architecture public IP. Okay, so if suppose this server wants to connect to this particular server, this server requires public IP because this is also outside the private network. Okay, something outside the private network, if wants to access a server, we will require public IP. Something inside, this is private IP. Fine. Now here we need to understand that this is called VPC. This is called server. This is called EC2. All these are EC2. I'm just giving you a small warm-up session, guys, okay, today, as this is the first day. Just trying to explain you with some words, some keywords which we'll be using here a lot, with some scenario. That VPC we will use here a lot. EC2 we will use here a lot. Okay, this public IP we will use, private IP we will use, public IP we will use. Okay, these keywords we will use a lot. This client tier we will use. Now our task will be, suppose think about a task that your company was already running in an AWS account. Maybe here it's an old account. Okay, where your company was running an application here, or this is old account. Okay, and this is new account in AWS. So in old account there was one server. Now you are trying to create a new account. Why? Because maybe this account is shared account between many businesses in your company. Maybe healthcare business, finance business, all are sharing the same account. But now healthcare is now divided. Think like that. Healthcare is divided from the business. So as healthcare divided, we will have to create a new account. So you are creating a new AWS account. Now, once you created a new account of healthcare, you have to create a new server. First of all, before you creating a server, you have to create a healthcare VPC also. So there is a healthcare VPC we will create. Okay. And then here you will run a server. This server, you will migrate this particular account, this service from here to here. This service which is running here, this application which is running here, you will migrate from here to here. How will you migrate? You will manually migrate for now. Think like that. You will manually migrate this application from here to here. Okay. So now the healthcare customers will use this particular server. We'll break this line, and all the healthcare customers will come to this. This is a very like it's a like general task for in your company. Okay, every like in a year maybe something will come new, some new account will come, you have to build that, some new business will go, you have to remove that. So if you are working in a multinational company, these things will happen, that one from one account to another account you will be migrating a application. So this server you will not move, this application you will move. Maybe this is an healthcare.com. This healthcare.com is moved here. And now we will decommission this server. Once this is moved, we will decommission. Word is called decommission. Means we will delete this server. And this server will be up. And this customers will be trying to access this particular server. So we'll have to do this exercise. Think that this exercise which we are going to discuss tomorrow is this. We will have one server. Okay. We'll try to move from one account to another account. This exercise we will do. So we have mentioned here on-premise to public cloud, that we have already, that is also okay, or this is also same thing. Our main motto is to create this VPC. You have to have your account ready and be ready, and we will start from creating the whole application, VPC, what is DNS, domain name service. We will have to understand that DNS thing, server thing, application thing tomorrow from this particular example. Welcome to DevOps workshop, guys. Okay, so we yesterday the class started and we have discussed about few of the projects which we are going to achieve here. So the projects which we are going to achieve is there in the course curriculum. I hope all of you have your course curriculum with you. If you do not have your course curriculum, it will be shared to you over the classroom. So I want all of you to be there in the classroom. So once you create your account in cloud, which is nothing but a public cloud, your task will be to create private clouds, this small private clouds. Why you want to create a private cloud? Because the thing is, here you have to create servers, and that servers you cannot create just under your account without a network, without network isolation. There will be by default a network will be there which will be assigned to you in your company, a private network for your company, for your account. So if you search here, if you go here and search a network, the first thing which you should be creating, which generally some of the institutes will show at the end, but no, that should be your first task. You should know it first. Do not skip that. You have to do it. Click on VPC. VPC. So the expectation after the class is that you will be watching the video, pausing the video, do it. Pausing the video, do it. Okay, this is the way we will be doing. Click on services and then you will be clicking on VPC. So today our task is to migrate an application from on-premise to cloud. We are planning to do this. For that, in cloud, you have to create one private cloud. Okay. For that reason, you have to first create an account, and inside that account, you will create one private cloud. So this is my account. Inside this, I will create one private cloud. So one private cloud is already there. This is default. Okay, so if you see this screen, this default will be there. How will you say that this is a default one? See here, it is mentioned default VPC. Okay, it is already there. So what I am saying, go and click create VPC. Okay, create VPC. Here you type maybe XYZ. Okay, we are working for XYZ company. So this company is xyz.com. xyz.com is coming to us and saying that please migrate it to cloud. So this xyz.com will have some servers here. Servers means computer. Computer means something which is having CPU, memory, storage. Memory means RAM, storage means hard disk, and operating system. Same thing here we need to create. So this whole black, this data center, yeah, okay. This is your data center. This is private data center. This is also private. This is public. Anybody can come, which AWS. So now we are creating private data center. So the full form of private data center in AWS is VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. So what I am saying, you go here and click on create VPC. Once you click on create VPC, you will get this particular page, and here you have to type your VPC name. So type XYZ, just type this, no issues. Now here it is asking the CIDR block. So CIDR block means how much IP you require. Here you see in the data center, if I have 200 IPs, 200, then I will mention here 200 IPs are there. So if there are 200 IPs, this network will also have 200 IPs if we are not changing the architecture. So in cloud also we should have 200 IPs. For that reason, you have to calculate the range, and that range is called CIDR range. The full form of CIDR is classless inter-domain routing block. So this address range, in just easy manner, if you want to understand, is what do you mean by this CIDR range? It means how much IPs you require in the cloud. So if you suppose consider an example of, okay, so if we just draw this particular VPC, this VPC in a bigger manner, so it will be like this. This VPC will have one range. This VPC will have 200 IPs. Okay, 200 IPs means 200 servers. Okay, 200 servers we can attach in this VPC. Think that this VPC as a hotel. Okay, so if you want to build a hotel, we need to first buy a land. So how much square feet, a square yard land you require? If you want to buy it in Hyderabad, how much square yard land you want to buy? Okay, that value you have to give here. For that reason, we will study network. Okay, so I'm very again poor in network. Okay, we are a DevOps engineer. We are called as jack of all trade, master of none. Okay, and you have to be proud of that. Okay, you are a jack of all trade because there are a hell lot of things you have to study. You have to know network, you have to know storage, you have to know load balancing, you have to know, okay, proxy, you have to know middle tier, application tier, database, performance, okay, lot of things. This is just small. Okay, now build tool, release tool, configuration management tool, provisioning tool, there are so many things which you need to know here. So many tools. Along with that, you need to know application as well. Okay, application as well. Application, like if you're working for WebLogic, Apache, middle tier, or means Tomcat, those performance. Okay, if you are working for PHP, you should know PHP. So, and again cloud as well. So we will be seeing these things very easily. Okay, everything whatever we will try to do, we'll try to make it little easy. Okay, with some diagram and with some concept. So here we are doing the same. So as a fresher, you have to listen to it and you have to do along with me, or else do when you get the video, practice this in your home. Okay. So we'll try to understand that what do you mean by IP first? Okay. IP means, okay, Internet Protocol Address means if you want to be connected or your device want to connect to a network, want to talk to another device, how will it talk? It will talk with the help of IP. Okay. So if I want to talk to you, or if I want to meet you, you will give me address and I will come to your home. Okay. So something like this. A device wants to communicate with someone else, some other devices that is possible with the help of IP. Okay. So now here I have to create a network of multiple devices. Okay. And that network can be so that network is a private network. Okay, so this IPs are of two types: private IP, public IP. How many IPs are there total? This many IPs are there. Okay, 000 to this. Okay, every decimal is a 8 bit. That means how many bits? 32 bit. 8 into 4. Okay, total 32 bit is your IP. These are decimal values. Okay, this is the range, total IP. In this total IP range, I have some private IP and public IP. This many IPs are private IP. I am sure that if you are working, you will be finding some of the IP ranges which you are working here from this range only. In your office environment, none of the IP will be out of this range. Okay, every office environment, if you are working for Flipkart, somebody is working for FedEx, somebody is working for some other company. Okay, all those companies will use IP ranges, private IP ranges, which will be from here. So that means private IP is reusable. You can reuse private IP, or it is not unique. It is per business unique, per network unique. So there are two networks. Okay, this network is having IP range. This also will have that IP range. Is it possible? Yes. Means my one server is having a private IP here. Name this one. Here also I can have one more server with the IP range this. There is no problem. What do you mean by this? This means that this address is private to this particular VPC. This is private to this VPC. Okay. It is like if it is a society, in society you have multiple flats. Okay, in an apartment, in this apartment you have 101, here also you have 101, another apartment also you have 101. Every apartment will have 101 number. Correct? What do you mean by that? That is private to that particular apartment. Correct? Fine. So similarly here, so there are some private IP range, there are some public IP range. So private IP ranges will always range from this to this. In your home network, okay, where you are connected to your home network, right? So you know, in your home network, which is your Wi-Fi, okay, if you go, you will also get one private IP. If you type, this is your private IP. Enter, copy, paste. See, this is my TP link router which I am connected to. If you type this in your home, you will not be able to open, because this is not public, this is private. It will come for your device, it will come that address. Okay, so is it, I think it is clear, this range. So what do you mean by private? Now, very good. So these are private IP ranges. This many IP I will get here, I will get here this many IP. And so you can see that a very complex company, or a very big company which is having a very complex environment, they will save their IP because it will be from this to this range only. Okay, IPs, if you go to your company and if you want to use any IP, it is like very difficult. Okay, you have to get it from a network team. Somebody should be a manager who will be managing the IPs. So those things are there. So think that somehow you got these IPs. Okay, these 3 IPs, you got some IP. Fine. So I got this IP. Here you see there is a X value. Okay, this X means total number of bit which is constant. How many bits are there? 32. In this 32-bit, how many bits you want to make constant, that is the number. So now we will go in simple maths calculation. How many IPs you require here? 200, because my on-premise is also 200. What are we doing? We are trying to migrate an application which is running here. Maybe my xyz.com is running here and my customer is trying to access this xyz.com. So this customer was pointing to this particular. Now we will try to see how can we break this, and we can point here. Okay, there is a DNS where it is mentioned the IP address. Okay. So this was earlier 3456. Now it is something else. Okay, so how can you change the domain address to 3457? Okay, we'll have to do this. We are doing this. So 200 IPs. So here also 200 IPs. So how will you create 200 IPs? Simply write here 200. Fine. So we will write 200 IPs. Now select some of the IP range here. Suppose I select this 17 or suppose 15. This is my IP range. Okay. X we need to find out. Maths. Okay, this X we need to find out. So what I am saying, 200, do a simple maths calculation and try to find out that number which will give you like 2 to the power X some value is equal to 200. That number it should give. So 2 to the power 0 means 1, 1 means 2, 5 means 32, 6 means 64, 8 means 256, which is more than 200. That means it is okay. Good. We'll select this. Okay, we'll select this. Yes. Here 256 is more than 200, so we'll select this. This is 8. We'll come here, we'll delete this 8. Okay, how much it will be? 24. So 24 is my X. X is equal to 32 minus 8, that means 24. So you will write here 24. You will change this IP 50. You will get 256 IPs. So this is your range. Simple. Copy this and paste it. That's it. Done. And save. So what we have done, we have created our VPC. Just by creating a VPC, okay, means the outer boundary will not help. Just by creating a boundary will not help. Okay, this will give me 200 IPs. Okay, this means how much? 256 IPs. So this is a network. This means a network of this 10-15 range, where how much IPs I can create? Maximum 256, not more than that. Okay. Okay, so I'm saying here 24. How can you make it 24? Simple maths. Come here. First you type how many IPs you require. 200. Okay, then select any one of the private IP here. Suppose you selected this range. Okay, 10, 15, 0, 0. And then you give X. Now you have to find out this X value. So what I'm saying, 2 to the power something should be more than 200. Find out that number. So 2 to the power 8 means 256. So what will you do? You will subtract with 8. 24. That's it. You got the IP. Great.
Rahul, one question.
Hmm.
Yeah. So instead of 200, let us suppose we want 10,000. So the 2 to the
10,000.
power 10,000, that 2 to the power we keep on increasing till we achieve that number.
Right. Till you achieve that number.
Okay.
Once you achieve that number, which is giving you 2 to the power more than, use calc. Okay. 2 to the power maybe 16. We will give you this much. You don't require this number. No, this is more. 2 to the power 15. This is giving this much. So try 2 to the power 14 also. 16,000. 2 to the power 13 will give you 8,000. That means this is the number. So give here 14. Yeah, subtract it. 32 minus 24.
18.
Very poor in maths. Okay, 18 bits. So give here 18. Right. This is 16,000 IPs. Clear?
Yes.
Why are you subtracting with 32? Somebody asked. This IPs are of how many bits total?
32.
One IP 32. Why? Because one decimal number means 8 bit. Okay, one decimal. This one decimal means 8 bit. This is an octet. 8 bit. That means how many numbers you will have? That many.
And once you select the range, that whenever we want that IP for a particular machine or network, so it will be auto assigned, or we can make sure
auto
that
assigned. No, auto assigned. Make sure static IP. Okay, fine. So I hope this is clear. So this is all clear. So now let's divide, okay, into this particular thing. That this particular VPC will be divided into 2 sections. So if you are building a hotel, everything cannot be private, right? Open space, restaurant, okay. If you can you go to Taj Hotel? Yes, you can go and eat. Can anybody go and stay also? Yes, they can also do that. So public can come and from outside. Okay, and some public are inside public only, they can come inside. Okay, so think that this is like that hotel. Okay, so there will be two divisions for it. One is public and private. Okay, public and private. So this public and private are subnets, sub network. So we can divide this whole network into two networks, sub network. One is this public subnet, another is private sub. So okay, fine. We will divide this into two sub. Availability zone one. This is zone one. Okay, and we are dividing into two public subnet. Subnet full form is subnetwork. Okay, in private, only thing that buildings are there where customers is going to stay, private rooms. Okay, in public, suppose open garden is there. Okay, and then it's a resort kind of thing. Okay, open garden, and then restaurants are there, some things are there. So now if you keep only one restaurant, suppose one restaurant, if you keep only one restaurant, what will happen? If you keep one restaurant, what will happen? That all this public will come to this. And if suppose this is down, the whole business is down. Correct? If this particular restaurant is somehow not working, the whole business will be down. So for that reason, we'll have to, this is not as this is called single point of failure. Okay, if there is only single. So that is why we will actually duplicate it. Where will you duplicate? In different availability zone, we will try to do. If this is in AZ1, we'll try to make this in AZ2. For that reason, you will create one more subnet. So we'll divide these subnets into two subnets. One is public subnet 1, public subnet 2, private subnet 1, private subnet 2. This all we have to do. Private. Okay, fine. So this we have to design. We have to divide this into sections, partition. Okay, into availability zone. This is for AZ2. This is for AZ1. Means if this is Mumbai East, this is Mumbai West. Okay. So suppose if flood happened here somehow, no problem. This will be up. If something happened to this, my other availability zone will be up. Clear? So this is called availability zone. For that, we will have to now create subnets. So let's do subnet calculation. How many subnets I have to create? 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? How many? 4. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. This. 4 subnets. Correct? 4 subnets. So now, as we have to create 4 subnets, we will again go to this document, and here we will see this particular. Okay, we are creating 200 IPs now. So let's go for subnet calculation. Here in this subnet calculation, here, how many subnets you want to create? 4. That means 2 to the power means it will give 4. So what you will do, 24 plus 2. 24 plus 2, this 2 will give you 26. So you will do here 26. So first copy this particular thing here. Okay, and this will be 26. Why? Because how many subnets you want to create? 4. 4 means how many bits it will require to create? 2 to the power 2 will give you 4. The math calculation. 24 plus 2, 26. So this is your simple subnet calculation site. So now you will open what? You will open a calculator. So there is a IP calculator. In this IP calculator, you will mention the range, this range. Copy this, paste. Here you will mention 24. Here you mention 26. And you will click on calculate. Once you click on calculate, see now subnet calculation is coming. How many subnets? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 subnets will have this network. Copy this network, come here. Do not think much at the starting. Just proceed first. Complete this by seeing my video. So create subnet. Select a VPC. Which VPC you will select? Default one or XYZ? XYZ. Come here, copy this range. Okay, and right here, public subnet 1. Availability zone, you will select 1A. Subnet 1, 1A, this is the range. Very good. We will add another subnet. Okay, what is the subnet name? We will give this time, we'll give subnet 2. Tell me which region I should select, which availability zone I should select this time for subnet 2.
1A. The same
1A, so we have already selected. So we should select anything but not 1A, right? We should select 1B because 1A to already done, right? Mumbai East, I have already created one subnet. Mumbai East, I have created a subnet. This is Mumbai East. Now I have to create another subnet here in Mumbai West. So AZ1, AZ2, different availability zone. If flood happened here, this flood will, here it will be all okay. Something like this. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So select this. AZ means every public network, there will be private network. Am I right? No, AZ means availability zone. AZ means suppose you have one flat where you are staying. Tomorrow, if that flat is not livable, okay, there is some problem happened. How will you stay? You will have one more flat in some other location. You will go there and stay. You are creating high availability for you for your stay, right? That is that simple concept we are giving here also. I have one restaurant which is single point of failure. If this is failed, whole business will collapse. For that reason, we will create another restaurant, and this restaurant will be created in public subnet 2. It's in different availability zone. Okay, different zone. Mumbai East, maybe if it is Thane, so it will be near Pune highway. Okay, fine. So here, come to this subnet 2, we'll give it here, and it will asking another new IP range. Copy here. This is second, first used, second, third, fourth. See how many IPs I am getting per subnet? 62. Okay, so this is your IP calculator. I'll be sharing you this document, this link and other things. Okay, how will I share? For that, okay, I generally used to share things in screen, in Slack. Here you see Slack is there. Okay, so I used to share in Slack. All these are my Slack here. Students will be joining, and students will be there, and they will be asking questions and will be replying. Okay, documents will be shared here. So this is the thing. Copy this, come here, paste. 1B, add subnet. This is private. Now we will use private subnet 1, private subnet 1, again 1A. What is the IP range? Come here, select that. Okay, now fourth one, the last one is private subnet 2. This we have to select in 1B, and here the IP range. Done. So how many subnets I am creating? 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Create subnets. Done. Okay, 4 subnets are created. Yeah, very good question, Mithilesh. How we are differentiating here between public and private subnet? We just given a name. That's it. We didn't differentiated it. Only we have given name. So we now have to do those things. Okay, this is just subnet creation. A partition is created. A boundary wall is created here. Think like that in this hotel boundary wall. But then anybody can go from outside. Anybody can come outside from outside and inside. So if you ask logically, what do you mean by public subnet? Where anybody can come and anybody can go. Anybody can come, anybody can go. What do you mean by private subnet? Where only inside people, okay? Inside this, anybody can come and anybody can go. But outside people, only private people can go. Okay, outside private cannot come. It is not allowed. This is not allowed. This is not allowed. So none of the hacker, suppose there are hackers here, they can't come inside. So safe, right? So you can keep here the private. So we now have to design this. So this is subnet creation just.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.